Ambassador Zeth 4 nervously adjusted his biosuit's temperature controls as he entered the sterile council chamber aboard the flagship Nexus Prime. The Galactic Federation's emergency session had been called with unprecedented urgency, and the subject matter made even seasoned diplomats uncomfortable. "The motion before us today," announced High Chancellor Vex with her characteristic mechanical precision, "concerns the immediate prohibition of Earth species Felis Catus from all Federation vessels and colonies." Murmurs rippled through the assembled representatives. The Altarians' crystalline voices tinkled like wind chimes, while the Zephyrian delegates puffed indignant clouds of purple gas. Ambassador Zeth 4 represented the newest members, humanity, and he felt woefully unprepared for whatever had prompted this bizarre emergency. "The evidence is disturbing," continued Chancellor Vex, her compound eyes reflecting the holographic displays that materialized around the chamber. "These cats have demonstrated abilities that threaten the very foundation of our understanding of dimensional physics." Dr. Sarah Chen sat in the human delegations section, her face a mask of professional calm despite the absurdity of the situation. As Earth's lead xenobiologist, she had been present during most first contact protocols. Never had she imagined that her tabby cat Whiskers would become the center of an interstellar crisis. "Perhaps," Dr. Chen interjected, rising from her seat, "we could review the specific incidents that have led to this unusual proposal?" The Chancellor's mandibles clicked in what might have been irritation. "Very well, Dr. Chen. Display Archive 7 Alpha." The chamber darkened as a three-dimensional recording materialized in the center. It showed the observation deck of the research vessel Meridian, where several alien scientists were conducting delicate quantum resonance experiments. Their equipment, worth more than Earth's entire GDP, hummed with precisely calibrated energy fields. Then Whiskers appeared. The orange tabby sauntered into frame with the casual arrogance that only cats possessed. The alien scientists, having been briefed about Earth's companion animals, initially showed polite curiosity. The Altarian researcher even attempted to pet Whiskers, producing a sound like glass bells being gently struck. What happened next defied explanation. Whiskers began to purr. The quantum resonance equipment immediately went haywire. Energy readings spiked beyond theoretical maximums. The carefully maintained dimensional barriers that kept the experiment stable began to fluctuate wildly. But instead of causing catastrophic failure, something extraordinary occurred. The barriers stabilized at frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. The quantum field achieved a harmony that alien scientists had been trying to accomplish for centuries. In the span of 30 seconds, a purring cat had accidentally solved one of the galaxy's most challenging physics problems. "This is merely the first incident," Chancellor Vex announced as the recording faded. Display Archive 12 Gamma. The next scene showed the diplomatic quarters aboard the Zenith station. Ambassador Orcs of the Drakmarian Empire, a species known for their mental shields and psychic prowess, sat in meditation. Their people were renowned for their ability to resist telepathic intrusion, a skill that had made them valuable mediators in interspecies conflicts. A sleek black cat named Shadow wandered into the room and, with typical feline indifference to boundaries, settled directly onto the ambassador's lap. Within moments, Ambassador Korix's mental shields began to fluctuate, but rather than being compromised, they evolved. The cat's presence somehow enhanced the Drakmarians' natural psychic abilities, creating new neural pathways that their species had never before achieved. "Impossible," whispered Dr. Zheng, a human physicist in the delegation. "The quantum field interactions alone should have—" "There's more," Chancellor Vex interrupted coldly. Display Archive 23 Omega. This recording came from the heavily secured laboratories of the Voidwalker Research Facility. The Voidwalkers, ancient beings who had mastered travel between dimensions, were conducting their most classified experiments when a cat named Professor Mittens somehow appeared in their sealed chamber. The cat's mere presence caused their dimensional anchors to resonate at previously unknown frequencies. Reality itself began to bend around the small creature, revealing glimpses of parallel universes and alternate timelines. The Voidwalkers, for the first time in their billion-year history, panicked. "The pattern is clear," Chancellor Vex declared. "These Earth felines possess abilities that transcend our understanding of physics, dimensional theory, and psychic phenomena. They represent an unknown variable that threatens the stability of our carefully maintained galactic order. Dr. Chen stood again, her voice steady despite the magnitude of the accusations. With respect, Chancellor, you're describing animals that sleep 18 hours a day and spend most of their waking hours demanding food and knocking objects off tables. Precisely, exclaimed Ambassador Orcs, their mental voice carrying undertones of awe and terror. They achieve these incredible feats while maintaining complete indifference to their significance. This suggests either unprecedented mastery of advanced physics or, prompted Dr. Chen, or they exist in a quantum state of controlled chaos that our science cannot comprehend. The chamber erupted in debate. The younger species were fascinated by the implications, while older civilizations demanded immediate action. The cats represented something that challenged the very foundations of their understanding. I propose a different interpretation, Dr. Chen announced, her voice cutting through the chaos. Perhaps the issue isn't with the cats. Perhaps it's with our assumptions about the universe itself. She gestured to the holographic displays still showing recordings of various feline incidents. Every species in this chamber has spent millennia trying to control, manipulate, and harness the fundamental forces of reality. We build machines, develop techniques, create complex theories, all in service of bending the universe to our will. And these cats? Asked Chancellor Vex. They simply exist. They don't try to control quantum fields or dimensional barriers, they just are. Maybe the secret isn't about mastering the universe, but about accepting it. The profound silence that followed was broken only by the soft sound of purring. Every head turned toward the human delegation, where whiskers had somehow appeared despite the station's security protocols. The cat walked calmly to the center of the chamber, settled into a comfortable position, and began grooming himself with complete indifference to the galaxy-spanning crisis he had caused. As his purring filled the chamber, the station's quantum stabilizers began to hum in harmony. The artificial gravity felt somehow more natural. Even the recycled air seemed fresher. Motion denied, Chancellor Vex announced quietly. Perhaps we need to study coexistence rather than prohibition. Dr. Chen smiled as she watched the galaxy's most powerful beings quietly form a circle around one completely unbothered cat. After all, she murmured, someone should probably feed him.